Hi, everyone. My name is Ambra Hamilton. I'm one of the assistant principals at Liberty, and I am excited to introduce you to our virtual parent university to help walk you through the registration process, middle school curriculum offerings, and what to do if you have questions. So let's get started. There are four administrators at Liberty. Mr. Shannon Brown is our principal. Mr. Ryan Foy is an assistant principal and athletic director. And then Mrs. Tabitha Odom is another assistant principal. She's with us this year, but she'll be transitioning to Journey Middle School next year. And then again, I am Amber Hamilton, the third assistant principal at Liberty. You can find all of our contact information on the Liberty website, so feel free to email any of us with any questions you may have. We currently have 3 counselors, and they are divided by alphabetical last name for students. So Ms. Latif serves students A through G, Ms. Smith serves students H through O, and Ms. Clayton serves students P through Z. And again, Ms. Smith is also transitioning to Journey Middle School next year, and so we'll certainly miss her. We do have a full-time school resource officer at Liberty. We're very lucky. We have Officer Bullington. He's with us every single day. He has an office in the Blue Pod, and so we are thankful that he is here for our safety. Other staff members that might be helpful for you if you have an English language learner, we have 2 full-time EL teachers. We have Ms. Schmidt, who is our gifted teacher. We have Ms. Sarah DeYoung, who's our special education lead. And then if you have your student has a 504, you could reach out to the specific counselor. So our rotating schedule at the middle school level, we have 5 blocks, A, B, C, D, E. They're about 75 minutes, and every Tuesday we have advisory. So the blocks rotate. So I just want to show you this visual. Each week they are in a different order. One thing you will notice is that C block always stays the same because C block is lunch, and we want that to be consistent for our students. So we have 4 different weekly rotations, and students pick up on it pretty quickly. Here's what the daily bell schedule looks like. We have about 5 minutes of transition time between classes. Again, every Tuesday we have advisory, so that means the students will report to their advisory class first thing in the morning. If you have a student who rides a school bus, if you haven't already downloaded the EduLog app, I highly recommend it. You can see where the bus is, how far away from the neighborhood it is, and so it's a great tool for anyone who's using school transportation. One of our biggest pieces of advice that we give you as a middle schooler is to get involved. We're a large school. Right now we have about 1,500 kids, and so it can feel really big. And so we just really want our kids to get involved with something and try out different things. Middle school is the opportunity for exploration and figuring out what hobbies and interests that they want to continue. And so parents, guardians, we just really encourage you to encourage your students to join a club and get to know some people and meet new people that have like interests. All of these are on our Liberty website, but I just kind of wanted to give you a preview of all the things they could do. They meet before or after school. They'll be in our weekly newsletter. They'll give morning announcements or afternoon announcements about how to join. And so students can reach out to the sponsor or listen for announcements about when they meet. We also have athletics. These are for 7th and 8th graders only, so your 6th grader cannot participate in athletics. However, when they become a 7th or 8th grader, they're more than welcome to join a team. If we don't offer it at Liberty Middle School, we offer it at James Clemens, and so they can go over to JC and join the high school team. All right, so let's talk curriculum for middle school. So you have 2 options for language arts, just standard language arts or honors language arts. The biggest difference is that in honors language arts, you're expected as a student to read outside of class. And so they have different novels and short stories and texts that they read outside of class after school, and they're expected to come in the next day and discuss the topics. And so when thinking about language arts, you might think about your students' extracurriculars, how how much they like to read, and if it would fit their current schedule as far as outside of school work. I also recommend that you speak to your student's current reading teacher. That teacher could give you new insight, a different perspective, some more data and other information about your child as a student, as a literary student. And so it's a family decision. You can pick either one. But again, I just really recommend that you talk to your child about it and talk to your child's current teacher about it. Regardless of which ELA class you pick, everyone has summer reading. And so all students are expected to read this novel over the summer. You can either check it out from the public library or purchase a copy on your own. And then during the first few weeks of school, they will discuss it in class, do some activities, and test on it. So for math, you have 3 options. You have Math 6, Accelerated Math 6, and then Math Team. The biggest difference is for Math Team, you're expected to compete outside of school hours. So they have Saturday competitions, they have after-school practices. There's another fee involved for registration of the competitions. And so Math Team, just know that there is an outside of school commitment. Accelerated Math 6 and Math 6, those are our most popular choices. And again, I cannot recommend enough that you talk to your student's current math teacher. That math teacher can talk about foundational math skills and everything that you need to know for your child as a mathematician and whether they would fit better with standard or accelerated Math 6. All students, all 6th graders take the same science class, Earth and Space, Science 6. It is a semester. And then the other one is, and they have opportunity to go to space camp. So that's a big field trip. It's a week-long field trip. So you'll get to sign up during your child's 6th grade semester, whichever it's fall or spring. You'll get to go to space camp if you'd like. Social studies is the other semester. So if you have science in the fall, you'll have social studies 6 in the spring, or they could be flipped and you have social studies in the fall and science in the spring. We have so many different electives at Liberty. I can't talk about every single one, otherwise this video would go on way too long, but I encourage you to look at the curriculum catalog. There is a lot there. A lot of these are 9-week electives, and so I just encourage you to encourage your student to explore their options. So we have everything from fine arts to science, Project Lead the Way, math, PE. Some of our electives require applications, and I'll talk about that later, but just to kind of keep that in mind. We also have semester and year-long electives. If you currently have a student who is receiving gifted services from the elementary level, we do have a gifted elective, Innovative Explorations. Students could sign up for a semester or a year-long for that class. Other semester electives, AVID, Miss Lewis, you'd have to apply for that. Advanced Theater is Miss Hicks. You audition for that. If you feel like your student needs more help in reading comprehension or just they kind of struggle in the reading category, Reading Lab might be a great option. We go teacher recommendation, parent recommendation. Math Lab is the same thing. If your student needs a little extra support with math foundational skills, Math Lab is a semester elective that could also further support your student. Year-long electives, yearbook, which you have to apply for, digital communications you have to apply for, beginning chorus, anyone can sign up for, and beginning band is another one that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. All students have to take one world language. It's a 9 weeks class. You get to pick from French, Latin, Mandarin, Chinese, or German. If you want to sign up for more than one, you can, but you don't have to. This is what it looks like on the course request form. So you're ranking your 4 languages. So you don't just check one language, you're ranking them 1 to 4 because depending on scheduling, you may not get your top elective. So again, you have to take one, but then that second row says how many world languages do you prefer? And so in that scenario, you tell us, oh, I only want to take 1, or I want to take 2, 3, or 4. None of this is guaranteed. It's just helping us build your schedule. All students must take a PE. You have two choices, indoor or outdoor. All students have to take 1 9 weeks, but you could request up to 4 9 weeks. Again, it's not guaranteed. It's just based on our seat capacity and your schedule. Here are our academic team electives. These are 9-week classes. For Science Olympiad and Green Power Racing, they both have applications. The other ones do not. So if you're interested in chess, competition chess, or Scholars Bowl, you do not have to apply. If you want more information about the academic team electives, you can look in the curriculum catalog, and then you can also email the sponsor. That information is on clubs and organizations on the Liberty website, and they can help answer questions for you. We have a lot of different CTE and STEM electives. These are all 9-week courses. They're Project Lead the Way, Computer Science for Innovators and Makers, Design and Modeling, Introduction to Careers in Healthcare is new. If your student is interested at all in the medical field, not just being a doctor or a nurse, but working in a lab, a pharmacy, medical sales, equipment, it's just a great exploratory healthcare class. And then we also have STEM, which is very hands-on, a lot of collaborative group work, a lot of the building of projects. Our students usually love that class. We do have digital publishing tools that help students with typing, learning Google platforms, slideshows, sheets, docs, forms, website, graphics, all of the things. It's 9 weeks. It's a very practical class that can help students grow. If your student likes to write, Creative Writing 1 is an option. Composition Workshop is more about academic writing and helping your student grow as an academic writer. Public Speaking, again, another very practical class because students are learning confidence and how to speak in front of others. We have 2 math electives other than our math lab. We have Math Explore that is very student-driven. So if your student enjoys math, that would be a great elective for him or her because they get to pick their projects. Math Meets Art is a nice blend between the math and fine arts too. Fine arts, we have Introduction to Visual Arts and Beginning Theater. So both of those are popular classes. They are low pressure, beginning level classes, and so it's a great 2 opportunities for students to explore fine arts. Choir, if your student likes to sing, Miss Eminem takes all levels, and so anyone is welcome to join choir. Just note that it is a year-long elective, so it takes up a full year for electives. Band. So you have 3 different levels of band: beginner, concert, and symphonic. So our 6th graders go into beginner band. If you're interested in beginner band, there's 2 different options. There's like a beginner woodwind percussion class or beginner brass class. And so depending on the instrument that is selected, depends on which band class you go into for beginner band. If you are interested in beginning band, you must go to our instrument petting zoo. This is a requirement. It's mandatory for you to sign up for a slot. You'll meet our band directors and they'll help you choose your instrument. So there are 2 different dates, February 21st or March 2nd. So either one of those works. Just use this. You can pause the video and use the QR code, or you can go to the Liberty website and find it under Fine Arts and sign up for band there. But you must have a slot for the instrument screening. Like I mentioned before, there are a couple of classes that you have to apply for, audition, interview, and then become accepted. And so those are listed here. All of this information is on the Liberty website. It has deadlines. It has information about who to contact if you have questions, and what the requirements are. Some of them, like yearbook, Green Power Racing, Science Olympiad, digital communications, those all might require teacher recommendations. So you'll have to reach out to your current 5th grade teachers for recommendations. But again, all of this information is on the Liberty website and you can get all of the details there. So let's look at what a 6th grader's schedule could look like. So you will have to choose either standard or accelerated math or math team. Honors or regular standard language arts. Like I mentioned, everyone has social studies, everyone has science. Every 6th grader has to take 1 9 weeks of PE, and every 6th grader has to take 1 world language. After that, you have 6 different options for electives. So your schedule is going to be created based on how you rank your electives. So let's look at what this might look like. You might pick standard Math 6, standard ELA. You could be in STEM, design and modeling, composition workshop, survey of Latin A, intro to visual arts, indoor sports, introduction to careers in healthcare, and beginning theater. So this is an example of a schedule where a student has 8 different 9-week electives based on how they ranked their electives on their course request form. Notice you have your required PE, indoor sports, and your required world language, survey of Latin A. Let's look at a different example. In this example, the student applied for an audition for advanced theater and got in. So advanced theater is a semester long. They are receiving gifted services, so they're in innovative explorations for a semester. Then they have their outdoor sports, which is a requirement for PE, survey of German A, which is a requirement for world language. Then they wanted to take a second world language, so they signed up for French A and then Math Explore. So this is an example of a student who has 2 semester-long classes and then 4 9-week electives. Let's look at another one. In this example, they have 4 9-week classes. Again, they have the requirement of the PE and the language, and then they want to take choir, and beginning choir takes a full year. So in this scenario, beginning choir, beginning band, yearbook, digital communications, those all would take up a full year for electives. All right, so let's talk about the registration process. My biggest piece of advice to you is to go to the Liberty website, click on registration, and you will see all of our information under LMS course registration materials. There is a worksheet there that you could print off or you could fill it out online. It's really helpful to kind of pick how many electives you're probably going to get. And so it's just a nice little grid to help you plan out what your 6th grade schedule might look like. So what is the registration process? You're going to review the online catalog, discuss what classes your student might want to take, complete the course request form, and then you're going to return it to your 5th grade teacher by March 3rd. And then we're going to come over after spring break to the elementary schools and help our students register for their classes for next year. March 3rd is our deadline, so that's a very important date. And so now I want to show you our resources, okay? So I'm going to go to the Liberty Middle School page, and under registration, LMS, here is all of the things. So the middle school catalog. So this is where all of our course descriptions are, everything about what is offered, our dates, they are all here. So please go through and read these. That is a great resource for you and your student. We also have Math Course of Study video. This is a great video for you to watch if you're curious about how middle school math builds into high school math. We also have digital forms. So your student will receive a copy of this printed. So they'll get a hard copy, but if they lose that one, you can print off this one. And again, this is the entire registration form, all the things that they will check. Notice on the back, the 6th grade elective choices, you need to rank 1 through 12 because you may not get your first choice. And so we need to have other options for you. Also, remember, some of these classes are audition or application required. So you shouldn't mark them on your sheet until you've heard from the teacher that you were accepted to the class. And so the student will sign and the parent will sign, and you'll turn it into your teacher. Here's that worksheet I told you about. And so this is another thing that you could print off and kind of help you, guide you through the course selection process. If you have questions about the applications or auditions, they're all listed here. Advanced Theater, Avid, Band, Digital Communications, Green Power, Science Olympiad, and Yearbook. It also has all of the deadlines. So February 26th is a deadline for Yearbook. Green Power is February 20th. And so they each kind of have different deadlines, so definitely check that out. And then if you still have questions, here's clubs and organizations. So like I mentioned, you could click on any of those for information. And if you still have questions, we have a Google form for you. So if you click on this, This is your Google form, and so we just ask that you complete this if you have any additional questions, and then an LMS staff member can get back to you with whatever questions that you may have. So that's a great way for us to communicate in an effective way. All right. So if you have questions, again, I recommend that you fill out that Google form. And so what's next? I am going to leave you to look at our LMS website, talk to your students, go through that catalog, especially the electives, like read through the descriptions, see what sounds interesting. Explain to your student that middle school is about exploring, so they should try a little bit of everything. Try a STEM class, try the healthcare class, try an art, a theater, a writing, just to expose them to different opportunities. Once you have completed your course request form, you will turn it into your fifth grade teacher. Again, your student will receive a hard copy, a packet that they'll bring home to you. And they're actually going to come over to Liberty too in the middle of February and tour our school and get to know more information there too. So that's all I have for you. Again, thank you for listening. If you have specific questions, fill out that Google form and we'll get back to you. And welcome to Liberty. We're so excited you're coming next year and we are here to serve you. So if you have any questions, just reach out. Have a great day.